doing? Welcome to the Füsh Exception Book podcast. I'm sorry I have to apologize in advance because this impression might get kind of crazy by the end of this. I don't know how much I could take. We're gonna be reading the Füsh Exception Book. This week, yours truly, Walken, will be reading the Füsh Exception Book. Without further ado, Exception 1, an ace cannot be trumped except by the opposite colored 2, in which case the ace is worth 0, loses its trump quality, and cannot win in a straight. Excuse me, did not mean to burp. Exception 2. If a player wins a trick with a 2, they must pop out of the seat and hightail it around the table or playing area, holding up 2 fingers. Thumbs do not count, baby, so you can just throw up that thumb. If this coincides with Exception 9, both players must do this. This exception does not apply if you're playing in a car. It's my favorite place to play Fush. Exception 3, in the event of a straight, the lowest value card wins the trick, and trump is void. Clarification, if there's a tie, like in Exception 6, the lowest number with that value breaks the tie. Well, this can occur across aces such as ace, king, 2, 3. In this case, the 2 will win, bearing another card is worth 0. Exception 4, if all 4 cards played are trump suit, face cards are worth 0. This includes aces. Exception 5. If all 4 suits are played in a trick, the first team to give the other a high five, boom, how, palm on palm contact, baby, which sounds crazily awkward, but I don't really care. I'm here to win. No hovering, and only one arm can be used, so don't try to intercept. Exception 6, a 7 will beat an 8 of the opposite color unless a 6 is in play, in which case the 7 and the 8 are both worth 5, and this can overrule trump. So, if there's a black 6, black 7, red 8, black 9 straight occurs, the 7 will win. If you still don't understand, if a black 5, black 6, black 7, red 8 straight occurs, the 5 will win, the actual 5 card. Exception 7, a 7 will make a jack at the value of 0 unless both the 7 and the jack are trump suit. The clarification, if the jack is trump and 7 is not, the jack will have the value of 0. However, it is still winning because it's trump suit. It will be beaten by any other trump suit. Exception 8, if 2 of the same card is played in a row, the second card takes preference, unless the player of the first card says ka-ching, cash register noise, along with the appropriate inverted fist bump. You can't forget it, unless one of the cards is trump, but why waste the energy and your hair? I mean, if this occurs with 6s, the player of the first card must make hissing sounds and devil horns instead. Exception 9, if a team plays 2 cards of the same color and number, it beats all non-face cards. Clarification, if both teams do this, the team with the higher number card wins the trick. Exception 10, if playing between the hours of 10 and 11, both AM and PM, you gotta focus on not winning so much, because the team with the least amount of tricks wins the points. Standard time happens twice per day. Exception 11, if a 3 of a kind occurs, the trump suit is changed to the suit not in the 3 of a kind for the next trick. Exception 12, if 1 card is worth 0 2 or more times, all exceptions are void and it wins the trick. Except in Exception 5, you still gotta throw up your hand and give those high fives. Exception 13, if playing under the age of 14, a player must announce so before the start of each round, or else they lose one of their valuable tricks. Exception 14, if a player earns more than 3 points in a round, they must give each other a high five, or else the other team earns the points. This can't be done to make the other team go over, and if the team doesn't high five, the other team doesn't need a high five. Forget it. Exception 15, if playing on Saturday or in a tournament, the players must have the option to say the Pledge of Allegiance or sing the respective national anthem, if not in the US, before the start of the game. Exception 16, winning team must shake hands with the losing team or else they lose 2 points. The handshake cannot be avoided. Exception 17, in the extremely rare event of all 4 cards being the same, every exception is suspended and the winner of the next trick wins both. Exception 18, the dealer may choose before dealing to call out a card to have the value 0 before the round. It can still be used to make a partner win, like in Exception 9. Exception 19, if a player wins 3 tricks in a row, their face cards are worth 0 for the next 3 tricks. And this carries over rounds. Exception 20, in the event of a double Hinderdurgen, the game shall enter a treacherous bypass confrontation, which will be settled by the appointment of a Durchgedur. Wait, you don't know what that means? It simply means both teams throw up their hands and boom! Bang! Ho! High five at the same time. They must figure out who wins by going up to someone who's not watching and be like, hey, pick one. Do it now. You could flip a coin, but that's boring. Exception 21, if playing while it's raining, the trump suit switches to the opposite suit to the same color. My gosh, it's a huge pain on Wednesdays. Exception 22, after the cards are dealt and before the first card is played, if a player holds 4 of a kind, don't feel pressured, but you may show all 4 cards to the other players in order to earn 1 point. If this is done with 2s, get ready to get the cardio in today, baby, because you gotta run around the table or playing area. Exception 23, non-verbal messages sent between partners must consist of at least 3 different signals. Exception 24, if there are more than 2 onlookers present during the entire trick. 4s are now worth 8.01. Exception 25, if there's an onlooker who's insistent on learning by watching and not playing, the players may decide to make a new exception specifically for that game to further confuse the onlooker. Well, that does it for this episode of Christopher Walken reading the Füsh Exception Book. I might be back later, I don't know. Go have yourself a nice dinner, have a bite for me. I hope you enjoyed listening to the episode. I'll see you again next week. Have a good night.